right. I have the chat window open. Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you everyone again. My name's Ernesto Mandowsky. You'll learn a little bit more about my story and what I'm here to do. But first, why are we here today? We have three key objectives. We are here to explore what project management means in the retail industry. We are here to talk about the operational cycle in retail. And we want to understand how operations and process impacts your bottom line. A little bit about me and my story. I started my career at the deep passion of hospitality. And when I told my parents I want to open up restaurants, they said, "You're crazy. Like, I don't know what you're talking about." And when I think about entrepreneurship now, whether it's restaurants or a store or a website or anything, people probably tell us the same thing. You're crazy. Like, that is insane. But either way, I climbed my mountain. I started climbing my mountain. I started studying systems at UF 10 years ago. I worked at Deloitte implementing technology for Fortune 500 companies. I opened up a digital bakery inside of my apartment in New York City. I worked in restaurants implementing back-end systems, inventory, scheduling, labor, sales, all key parts of any retail business. And then I created my dream job with the Palm Restaurant. After doing that, I wrote a book called Newbie, and I started a company called CPD Advisors. So just one note as we dive into today's lecture. This is a fire hose. This is day 6 of your boot camp. You have been learning so much information, and my invitation for you is integrate the best, integrate what really resonates with you and your business, and leave the rest. There's way too much content to take all of it. So take what's most important for you. And with that, our deliverable by the end of today is understanding how operations, the cycle, works inside of your company. So before we dive in, I want to hear a little bit about from everyone. I know your company's names, but in one sentence, like, please type in the chat what product you are offering through your retail company, so I can get a feel for your businesses, so that we can understand, how some of these concepts can be applied for your business. I do know one person in the room has a bake shop, so that's kind of cool. I shout out to my bakers out there. Dental products, aromatherapy, sound healing, great, amazing, ideal music box, musical instruments. I love it. So before diving in, why operations? Who here wants to take a guess at why operations is important? If we don't have volunteers, we're going to jump into the voluntold method, or I would love to hear from some of you on why you think operations is important. Daniel and Gabriel, or just Daniel, what do you think? Why is operations important in your business? You could just unmute yourself.
Hello, hi, how are you? Because I think operation is the ones that really handles, how your business operate from A to C, like it's just kind of you get all your components, where you're gonna place it, the storage, the manufacturing, the inventory.
Yeah.
That's what I think,
Yeah, operations helps like keep a grasp on everything. Latanya, how about you? What do you think?
Hi, yes. It definitely helps for everything to run smoothly. It's just like the strategy. This is like the back end piece to make sure that in order for the strategy to work, the back end operations piece has to be in sync as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of like the spine. It's the spine holding up all the other parts of your body, all the other organs. It's really keeping everything moving forward. Yeah, Arlena, last one before we continue. Why do you think operations is important?
Hi, Ernesto and everyone. Hope you have a wonderful week. Well, in our case, we sell mostly online because of pandemic. So we're still selling most online and Amazon. And we have learned with blood that processes are very important. is the main of our business online, because you need to be aware of the time. If you don't do things on time, you're lost. So we have to learn it with also with tools, because we do it sometimes badly. But if we have tools, as we've been working a year ago with FIU and other institutions, we do it properly. So thanks.
Yeah, definitely. I want to acknowledge what you said about time. If we are not keeping time of our processes, it's very easy to kind of get lost. You get behind, you're delayed, the customer doesn't get their order, they get pissed off, they leave a negative review. It's all really interconnected. As Adriana said, lots of incubators don't talk about this. I mean, I personally wish I was part of an incubator when I was started 3 years ago. And to really bring these concepts home, we're going to talk about how these principles relate to the bakery that I launched 6-7 years ago, Hollaback Bakery, which, if you didn't know, it's a Jewish bread bakery. This is a picture of me when I first started in 2015. So, project management. I have a definition about project management, and it is defined as the use of skills, knowledge, tools, techniques to deliver something, anything of value to people. In our case, in the retail industry, we are creating a valuable product to the market. You've all mentioned products. You have jewelry, massage therapy, smoothies, custom apparel, musical instruments, vegan candles. In my case, it was a loaf of bread. So this is a big fancy definition, but what actually is this? What actually is project management? I define it as intentional action to create a result. Creating a result on a non-recurring basis. What does this mean, non-recurring basis? When you're starting your business, you think we have 1 million projects to do. But here are 4 key projects that you always start with. You design a brand, you develop a product, you create a website, and maybe even you create a partnership. So I want to open it up. I want to ask you, what are some projects that you have perhaps already completed in your business? And this could be launched a brand, launched a website. I want to hear from some of you. What are some things that you've done? Oh, Smart Dental, you've created a name for yourself. iPhone 14 Pro Max. I don't know your name, but what are some projects that you've completed in your business? And I'll just leave these up here as a reference point. Okay, well, he's...
Hello, yes.
Hello.
Hello, I am Elmer Ganter, sorry. My computer went down, so I'm trying to the phone. It's Elmer Ganter, I'm a HP Modern Decor. We have print shop and we design a tempered glass backsplash printed digitally for bathrooms and kitchens. Mm-hmm. And one of the projects I would be mainly right now was designing the product, getting the product to work and the size and the standard size for the market. Mm-hmm. That we have finished. Now we're trying to go into the marketing area now.
Great. We're going to go into the marketing, building a website, building a social media presence.
Yes.
Great. People not on camera, maybe type in the chat. What are some projects that you've completed already with your business? Branding, trademark. Trademark is a big one. It is a project that once you complete, it's done and you got it there forever. So, any last words? Sably, what are some projects you've completed in your business?
Hi, I'm Sably, the inventor and founder and creator of Sably plant-based hair product. Product is designed to keep the hair healthy from the inside out. Mm-hmm. What did I completed? series of things. Just formulating the product for it to work the way it work. I think that's like for me, my number one joy, settled joy. When I can see people come back and with results, telling their story, and how they tried many things, it didn't work, and mine is working. I patented the product. I have a brand completed, and as small as my production is, I feel like it can be bigger because I have my area where I make the product, and I have the area where I package the product, and I have the area where I know when I fill the bottles and jars, and in the area where I package the product for shipping. So for me, that's like
Yeah, well, I want to acknowledge you're super proud of the product that you've developed, seeing the transformation. And maybe now that you've seen a few of those transformations, you've had a couple of sales, you have this intention in the future to maybe expand your product line, expand your production so that you could make more. And that perhaps is something you'll do in the future as you have more funds. Maybe you could rent a space, but that's definitely like its own project that will manage a bunch of different moving pieces.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing, Sably. So I want to turn it over to, and I see lots of people in the chat. I built my website, I developed my formulation, rebranding, lots of projects happening, lots of action happening. So why project management fails? When I work with companies, the first thing I do is I ask them, hey, what are you working on? And they'll say, oh, so many things. And I'll say, start telling me. And they'll produce a list of this many projects. And it's like a company of 1 or 2. If you are a founder right now, and you're working on 15 projects, could I get a hand raise? Or, just vulnerably, we're trying to do so many different things. And what happens when we're trying to do so many different things is that we get overwhelmed and we freeze. And, it's just too much. It's way too many things happening. But, in reality, and I said this in the beginning of the presentation, the only thing we should be focusing on, the only thing of this program is making an amazing presentation, an amazing pitch presentation. So focus on that pitch, focus on integrating these concepts, and focus on 3 to 5 projects at one time. I'm going to pause, I'll open up this question of how can you prevent yourself from saying yes to too many things? How can you actually focus on just 3 to 5 projects at a time? Akili, sorry, I maybe did not pronounce that properly. I would love to hear from you. How could you focus on your just 3 to 5 projects?
Yes, hello everybody. Achille Sime. I'm the founder CEO of SLDRA. It's a data repository and data analytic company. It's a startup, pre-revenue. And my other firm, which is supporting the development of this startup, is SL Financial, is a consulting firm. What I usually do to ensure I focus and I get things done is to have there's a couple of Excel files that help you track project. I usually use them with deadlines and people from my team assigned to different tasks. And usually that's the way I start my days, opening that, making sure things are moving along follow-ups. So yes, usually that's what I do. I can share my screen and show it if it's interesting to the group. But,
maybe towards the end of the class if we have some time.
yes.
Who else? Smart Dental Solutions. I don't have your name right now, but would love to hear, how can you prevent yourself from taking on too much, from doing too many projects?
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you for taking me in this exciting project. When I need to prevent for myself is a schedule for running my World Cup. My English is not so very good, but I try it. Actually I need to put everything in my Google Calendar and working like 2 hours for one thing. Okay, today I need to go to my store and arrangement my inventory. This is it's too much for, I need a lot of work to do, but hopefully right now some cousin is wanna working with me, and it's very appreciable because I have right now in my mom is here 6 months ago. She's gone with Parole, Humanitarian Parole, and she's working with me right now, but I teaching her. My cousin maybe in the next week is going with me, and maybe I need to delegate,
yeah.
delegate some work, for her, because oh my God, I don't sleep very well.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Fabiola Monasterios, because my mind is always creating, and it's a lot to work.
That's okay. I didn't ask you in the beginning for your name. I just want to, Fabiola, thank you for sharing. And thank you for sharing, even though you don't think your English is great. I understood you perfectly. And I just want to, I want to acknowledge a very important piece that you recognize there. You have lots of projects happening. Your mom is in town and you don't really have much capacity. So what did you do? You found your cousin, or you found someone to help you. You found an employee, or you found someone that can help you free up your time. So you did delegate, and that's going to be super important for all of you to consider when you're growing your business. You are going to be running a list of projects that's that big, but as you bring on different team members, different contractors, assistants, interns, volunteers, whatever, you could start to manage the stress of all of the different pieces. It's very important. We're back to slide 6, write down the operational cycles of your business so that we can create the clarity. Oh, I'm going to hire someone to focus on the inventory, or I'm going to hire someone to focus on the labor. We're going to kind of move into that section next. Before we move on, does anyone have any questions about anything that we've covered so far? Any comments? Any fire emojis to react to? Aurelina, raise your hand. Yes, Aurelina.
Something that it worked for me is, as you say, be focused. If I need to sell more because I need to be more profit, I just focus on that, and I give 30 minutes to each topic, okay?
Yeah.
Daily. So it's hard, it's very hard. I understand the person that talked, I don't remember her name, dental, okay? I understand her because we just 3 in our company, my husband, my son, and me, okay?
Yeah.
But we try to put everything on turn, and to know what is the first thing to do. That's not easy to know. We think we know how to do it, but we need to practice that. That's what
Yeah.
I want to share.
Yeah. The last part you said, very important. We need to practice. We need to practice. We need to practice writing things down, seeing what is the priority, seeing what things need to get done. I cannot stress this enough. So many people are running these businesses and they're running the business on WhatsApp and on email and on Slack. Or they don't actually, I mean, maybe on a journal, but journal's good for you, but not good for your team of 5 people. So, you know, these are some tools earlier. Achille, sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly. He said he uses an Excel sheet that he shares with his team to create some of that visibility. Any other questions before moving on? No. Okay. And if you have questions and you know you're off the camera, you can drop them into the chat and we will address them as well. So, operational cycles. This is what we are here to do. Just reviewing. We've spoken. Just reviewing. These are the 2 or 3 or 4 projects. We've launched the business. We've formulated the product. We've built the website. Everything is built, and now it's time to actually operate and manage the business. So there is a key difference between projects, which is what we've discussed in the last section, and what I call playbooks or cycles. And the difference is that projects are non-recurring. You build it once and it's built. Once you build the website, it is built. Versus playbooks, which are recurring, which are things that you have to continue to revisit over and over and over again. That's what we're going to explore. So in retail, one example, a project, something we build once, we build the product, we develop the secret recipe, we build the website, and then the cycle is you have to order the product, you have to order 100 cookies, you have to order 1,000 bottles of makeup, you have to order that and fulfill it and send it to the customer, and you're continuing to do that over and over the weeks, over the months, over the quarters. If you know already some of these cyclical things that you're doing, go ahead, type it in the chat as we jump into the 4 key cycles. So there are 4 main cycles in retail. There is inventory, which is the product on hand. There is labor, which is your team. It's the people that your company needs. It is advertising. It's marketing. I know you had a marketing section a couple of days ago. And then there's administration. So before we move on, I want you to, I see people writing things down on their notes. I want you to type down or type which of these 4 cycles are the most important ones in your business right now that need your attention. Is it getting a grasp on inventory? Is it getting a grasp on labor? Is it getting a grasp on advertising? Or is it getting a grasp on admin? You see lots of advertising in the chat. Very important, getting the word out there. Yes, definitely. Admin, advertising. The A's are very popular today. So let's begin. The first one, inventory. We got to get stuff made. We have to, sometimes we don't even have enough. We're so young that we're not even making it ourselves, but we are asking a third party, someone else, to produce this inventory for us. Someone else is producing cookies and we're just selling them. Or someone else is producing makeup and we're just selling it to the end customer. So a couple of key cycles here. We have ordering inventory. We have fulfilling orders to the customers. We have counting, and then we have reordering. So I want to hear from someone who actually is producing their own inventory, actually, Sabli, I think you were saying it before. You were talking about your inventory and production. How do you kind of manage that process? How do you know how much to produce?
Thank you again for letting me to talk about this. I still haven't grabbed a solid grip of it. However, in the beginning, I wrote down like the process. I feel like I'm going to need help from expert to help me really perfect that. But the way it's been working is I know which product that I'm using or selling a lot. But first in my lab, I call it in my lab or manufacturing area, I put things on the shelf. I label all of them. I kind of know where is each one. And also I have them as a document, but because it's all organized and I created it myself, so I know, okay, is I'm selling a lot of rosemary shampoo because I'm selling a lot of rosemary shampoo. Maybe this oil is finishing quick. So then but usually I order them in 5 gallon, 1 gallon, 2 gallon, so I can be able to know that I have enough, or I check and see which one is going to finish soon, then I order early. Now, that worked very well before the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, then you have supplier would say, or farmers would say, and because my product, I have to deal with people who've been farming before even organic started. They believe in organic. So my supplier organized, like not a lot of them, but they're organized and I have relationship with them. But before the pandemic, it was fine. But then now it's sometimes they don't have it. So what I do is like look at what is going to finish and then order ahead. Then of course you have the issue I'm having right now is it gets sent and the farmer say it's going to be there on Friday, but in the shipping, people don't deliver it on time.
Right.
You see? So, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a couple of, maybe supply chain issues. But I do want to.
Sorry, I went into
I want to acknowledge like how you kind of, you said that you organize your production area, like you have things labeled, you have things, you documented how it gets made. And that's going to be super important because when you do bring on your team, you have a set of instructions for them to follow. You will have a nice workspace for them to organize. Eventually, I think what you also alluded to, you see when your ingredients are running out, you would order more of it. So the same thing with like Paula, who runs her bake shop. When I used to run my bakery, after I got below a certain level of flour, for example, I knew that I would have to order more flour. And based on my relationships with my vendors, I knew it would take me 3 days, or I would have to just go to the supermarket and pay expensive flour. But it's good. It's great to have that awareness of, how long it takes, where it's organized, and how to actually make the product. It's a great job. Fabiola. Wait. Yeah, no. Yes.
Another thing that I think is working well is QuickBooks. I had a lot of issue with QuickBooks on the first time. I arranged my QuickBooks like 1 year ago because I didn't know about the terms, the name for the going to where is the I need to put like maybe I explain like I have a lot of products. Maybe I have a three provider that me some better price. When I purchase the in another provider, the price is lower. I put twice or three times my product with a different SKU.
SKU.
SKU, yeah, SKU. And when I go into my loss and profits is like a mess.
Yeah.
But right now I figure out and I learn from myself in YouTube in made a mistake. Okay, no, it's not going to it's difficult, but I think is the best platform, maybe.
Yeah.
The word.
And you're talking about QuickBooks, the accounting?
Yeah, I use.
Yeah. So definitely like managing your inventory with QuickBooks. It's going to be tricky and a challenge, but it's okay that you had those breakdowns because and you know, everyone's going to have these breakdowns every day, but you have this amazing opportunity to learn from them. Just like you said, you were having these problems, you learned from it, you fixed it, and now you kind of move on to the next.
I need to learn more. Obviously, I need to learn more about the QuickBooks, but maybe the principal for me, I think the principal I need to get organized my inventory because it's gonna go is going to run the e-commerce. My inventories need to very organized. I think the inventory always is a mess. For one thing, you made a mistake, everything changes.
Yeah. Well, definitely see, like, I know there's the consultants that this program offers with the SBDC, like, work with those people, work with these resources. Like, I cannot stress this enough. We have so many resources around us that we don't open ourselves up to that, because you and I, we're not expert accountants. You are good at dental products. I am good at business systems. Like, you don't need to be the expert in everything. So really take advantage of these resources, because it's such a unique opportunity to have that, especially. So I have one question here for everyone here to consider on how long does it take for you to produce your inventory? Does it take 3 days? Does it take 4 hours? This is something I see someone in the chat. I need 10 days before my inventory runs out. It's so important to understand this question, because one day, if a customer shows up to your shop and you don't have the inventory, then you have lost sale. So it's very important to really define what is that optimal number of inventory to have on hand. And then the second question, sometimes you fulfill them in person, sometimes you fulfill them over shipping. There's lots of different ways of fulfilling your inventory. And inventory is it's a huge world. You could have an entire boot camp around inventory. We're keeping it at a high level for today because we still have 3 other key cycles to talk through. But if there are any questions, like high level questions, I'll take them. If not, we're going to move on to the next cycle. Hands raised or in the chat. Give it a couple more moments. Okay. So the second key cycle is your team. It's labor. These are people that are here to help you with tasks to continue running the business. Sometimes they're in the store as clerks, if you have a physical storefront. Sometimes this labor is a contractor that is coming to take pictures of your products. Sometimes this is someone who you're hiring to build a website. You have all sorts of different people that are here to help you. Sometimes there's specialists in production. It's kind of tied to the inventory side, but it's the people. It's the cost of production from people perspective. So in your business, it's important to schedule these employees or contractors to understand what your cost is, and then to analyze your labor. Analyze, are they being productive? If you as the business owner, I think Sabely was saying she produces the product. If she can produce 30 products per hour, is your employee producing 30 products per hour, or maybe 25 products per hour because they haven't become experts in? So an open question I want to discuss now with the group is, what is the labor cost that you have now to operate your business? And if you don't currently have labor, what labor could you have to free up your time? Barbara, I haven't heard from you. Would love to learn how you think about labor with your business.
Okay. Hello. Nice to meet you guys. So in my business, I have a retail store, and I feel that I cannot afford to hire anybody because I don't even pay myself. So that's at the issue that I find myself, because again, I cannot do everything. I feel I'm behind on inventory, like Fabiola. I'm behind on updating the website, and so I really don't know how to calculate or how to go about hiring somebody when I don't know how to do my numbers.
Have you potentially visited? Have you spoken about this with your consultant?
No. Like right now, about 2 months ago, I had hired, I guess, a bookkeeper, right? She organized my books on QuickBooks, and she went over, okay, your business is not losing money, but basically like on average, right? Within these 6 months until June, your profit was $6,000. So I'm like, okay, that's like $1,000 a month, right? And from that, I'm not taking a salary. How can I possibly pay somebody with that money?
Don't worry, Barbara. It's the same thing for me. I don't.
You work for me, I work for you.
Yeah, don't pay for me, don't pay for my mom. I offer for my cousin-in-law, like, okay, you're gonna go to Oxide and sell. I only can I pay you the commission. If you sell, pay commission, because it's a lot. It's difficult. I understand you.
There's one, definitely connect with Adriana so she finds you a financial consultant. 2, I will say this, and this is a whole mindset thing, but the only person who will grow your business is you. And if you are in the store, you're not growing your business, you're just managing a store. So there are many ways to create agreements with many different types of people. But you as the business owner need to focus on growth and getting your product in the hands of as many people as possible. We are covering 4 cycles here to be aware of them, but this needs to be a machine that runs on its own, not by you.
Right.
or Fabiola or Paula or Akil. Like, this is a machine that you build with the help of your financial consultant, with the help of all the people. So that is the first, maybe, mindset shift that could be made.
That makes sense. I know.
Anyone else? I think I saw someone named Jessica in the chat. I would love to hear about how labor works in your business, or maybe how you are the labor in your business.
Right now, yeah, it's just myself, and kind of in a similar situation as Barbara, but I'm not busy enough to really hire somebody. And right now I'm working on being able to start paying myself next year. So it's something I'm preparing for now.
Great.
Can I pitch into Jessica's comment?
Sure.
Because I feel the same. Like, I don't have, a lot of customers coming in. So I do need to focus on marketing and advertising. But then there's all this back end stuff that I could delegate if I figure out how to pay, that will help me relieve some time to do other things. So even
I have a virtual assistant that helps me overseas, and that takes a lot of weight off of a lot of time away. It's affordable, and she helps me with all my social media marketing, which is one of the most challenging things for me to do, is just like going into, like, whatever I see in my head never comes out how I want it on Canva. So instead of just wasting my time trying to make it look like what's in my head, like, I just hire somebody and she does it all for me.
Oh, that's great.
That's, the $200 I spend a month is worth it. I get more posts out, I get more content out, I get more engagement. So if you can find something that is like your pain point, that's the most frustrating, annoying, like, pain in the ass thing for you that you don't like doing, that you're not good at, and you can somehow like outsource that, that's where you can start kind of like expanding and start asking for help in that sort of way. And that's helped me a lot.
That's great. Where did you find your virtual assistant?
Send me your email. I'll send her to you.
Okay, thank you.
So for everyone's awareness, something that Jessica said and something that Sabely said earlier in the class, Jessica said, find your biggest pain point. And then Sabely said, I wrote down the steps to create my product. And if we go back to what the point of all of this, and slide 6 of your presentation, is to describe your operational cycles. When you become aware of the cycles of your business, I just kind of skipped ahead a little bit, we'll go back. But when you become aware of all of these cycles and how they work, it becomes so much easier for you to say, hey, VA, I need you to produce 100 pieces of content for me. Or, hey, intern student, I need you to work the store for me, and I'm going to pay you 37% commission. I cannot pay you out of pocket, but I will pay you a 37% commit. It becomes so much clearer for you to move forward. You get away from the, oh my God, I have a million things to do, to these are the 4 main cycles. This is my biggest pain point. Oh, I'm dealing with inventory. When you fix that cycle, you work on advertising. When you fix that, you go to labor, and then you get more customers, and then you're going to continuously jump between these 4 main boxes. But if you never write down what they are, then you're never going to get to move forward on it. That's why that's the point. That's the slide that we're building at the end of today. So jumping back in to our 3rd cycle is advertising. This is the hot button that everyone was typing in furiously in the chat. We need to advertise more. Advertising is made of 3 main things. And sorry, I wrote content creation twice here. You have to create content. You have to take pictures. You have to take videos. You have to make reels. You have to make carousels. You have to make all sorts of amazing media. Then you have to promote it. You have to post it and wait for all the money to come in, or wait for the people to come in. And then you have to analyze what converted? So I'm keeping it very high level here. Creating content, promoting your offers, and then analyzing what worked and what didn't work. So in your business, I want to hear from 6 different people, 30 seconds, how you do this, how you do one of these 3 things. So Daniel and Gabriel, talk to me about how you create content, how you promote it, and whether or not, or how you analyze conversion.
Well, the only platform that we use to create content is Instagram.
Great.
So normally we do at least, a day, we do like 3 posts each day. And sometimes, when there's a special holiday going on, we do like a paid ads on social media on Instagram. So we set up like a small budget, and then we just analyze. Mostly it's about engaging people, to follow us on our platform on Instagram. But if the only time that we have like conversions, of sales, it was last year I think it was for Mother's Day, that we did like a large payment advertising on Instagram. So we recover what we invest into the advertisings to go to our website.
Excellent. And you analyzed, aside from just the conversion, you got their emails. So you got more than just sales, but you got new emails of people, which is...
Yeah. For our website, so what we do is we have this like pop-up marketing. So we gather, all the customers' emails and phone numbers.
Great. And you offer them something in exchange?
We actually offer a 10% off online when they place the order. And then, we send like a promotions, which is, a little behind on doing that, to select an email marketing, so they can get, extra discounts, or either like get free shippings, online.
Excellent. That is a really good, acquisition strategy. Mukite Juice. I haven't heard from you. Would love to hear from you. How do you advertise? Oh, sorry. Oh, she's gone. And she's back. And she's frozen.
Hello?
Hi.
I'm good, and you?
Great. Talk to me about how you advertise your business. What are the 3 main cycles that you implement in your business?
Okay, at this moment, I don't make the ads, but sometimes I make the videos with users in my home with my baby, and I make with these reels and carousels, but I don't make the analysis, because I think I don't know or this, and now I'm pay the person in Medellin, Colombia, from the marketing strategy, and now she's make the analysis, and she's make the strategy, and I make the content.
Got it. So, but
I'm
this
sorry,
person
do you
gives
understand? Because my English is terrible. I don't know you understand.
Yo entiendo todo. Soy Latino también. It's all good. I understand, but I'm just going to reframe for the class. So you have someone that you work with in Medellin, you create the content, and they do a bit more. They have done the strategy and they do the analysis.
Yes. And
And my goal is the pictures in the create content and the all business, obviously.
Excellent. But so when this person gives you the analysis, does this person, I mean, what do they tell you?
Pero aquí es cuando está, por ejemplo. Oh, okay. No, and start the next week.
I got it. So, okay.
Yeah.
So,
and start
so
with the plan the next week.
Great. So next week, you'll start looking at it. Barbara, you said lacking analysis. When you're analyzing your sales and you see where a customer found you, you want to see, oh, this person came from Instagram, or this person came from a phone call, or this person came from a podcast. You want to see where the sale came from. And that's going to be your biggest part in analyzing the performance of your advertising. And I believe, Alexa, there's an advertising class that had happened, right? Or a marketing class.
Yes, we've discussed in a lot of detail about how you can craft your audiences, the buyer personas, and all of that information needs to be utilized when you're analyzing your operations. And I wrote in the chat as well, you need to be looking back in what we talked about in class 2 about the strategy around your inventory, predicting your supply chain, understanding your demand, understanding the customer experience versus a client versus the consumer experience and a clientele. Because when you start to really look at those details together, you'll realize where in the operation there's room for budget, where there are things that maybe if there's no budget, there's room for trade, partnership, some of the elements that Ernesto is discussing as well. But in order to get a true view of that, you have to first be able to craft all of those pieces and put them together as part of your overall operation strategy. So that would be great job, Ernesto, so far. The information has been amazing. And I'm so proud of you all for communicating and connecting and leaning on each other in the chat here. I'm so pleased.
Exactly. And something I wanted to, say about what Alexis was mentioning. Oh, we discussed this concept in another class. We like all of these classes are like building blocks in your business, and it's difficult to be aware of all of it. It's not easy, but focus on the little wins that you're creating each day. Because if you just see at all the things that you're not looking at, it's just too easy to get into the hole of self-sabotaging. Which is why this presentation, not just my slide, but all 10 slides are going to be so important for you, because this is going to be the first way of putting down all the pieces for your business. Definitely, I'm sure we can create an amazing list to follow each other on Instagram. So, any questions before we wrap up on advertising and kind of the 3 main parts of the advertising cycle? Yes, Barbara.
So for now, the only advertising I do is organic. When you say advertising, that it specifically means paid advertising?
No, that's a great question. And I just after the course is over, I highly encourage everyone, because everyone says that advertising is a need. There's this guy, he wrote a book, $100 Million Leads. He has a free course online and he talks all about advertising. I was specifically referring to just marketing. Like whether it's warm outreach, whether you're calling someone to say, hey, I have an amazing product, or you're making content, you're telling a lot of people that you have amazing product, you're calling strangers, or you are paying for advertisement. So there's many ways, but when I say advertising, I just mean just telling people about your stuff.
Barbara, it's perfectly fine that you're doing just organic. It doesn't sound like you've not paid yourself, you should not be paying for advertisement. Let me make that extremely clear. If you, and for all of you in the chat in here, if you are not paying yourself then there's no need for you to be paying for advertising. On the operational side, you are the operation, and that needs to come first and foremost. I know Adriana put in about meeting with some finance consultants. I would say that is the first step. What you can do is create consistency around the content creation. So if you are only posting once a day, make sure you're posting at the same time every day. There's a format of marketing called A/B testing, where every now and then you can switch and see which pieces get you more engagement overall. But none of that should come before understanding the objective of your advertising, whether it's organic or not. If there's no clear goal for the ad or for the post or for the content, it doesn't really matter at that point. So just some things to consider as you're reworking it and thinking about, we'll call it your marketing cycle, right? How am I promoting myself? Am I reaching my clients where they're at? Are they engaging with what I'm promoting? What are the goals of this content? Because even organic content should still yield some kind of conversion for you, whether it's a like, reach, data about the client, just disseminating information, brand awareness. There should always be a tangible goal. There should always be an objective for the post.
Thank you, Alexis. And I do want to echo what she said. Pay yourself before paying for advertising, because if you don't have money to pay yourself, you have no business. You will eventually have no business. So I would definitely reinforce that. Double tap. Daniel and Gabriel.
Yes, I just wanted to ask you one thing is, how much do you think is important to share with your audience or your followers in either TikTok or any of those platforms, your lifestyle, like you're brushing your teeth and, you have your coffee and then you light a candle and all those things. How much do you think is, if it's important? Because nowadays I see, a lot of people, with more followers and, more business doing that. It's like sharing your even, like sharing your luxuries lifestyle, that you travel, or at least, that you do this or you do that, because the things I think is even more important nowadays than any other advertisement.
Yeah, I mean, there's just two things to point out. One, I think you're touching on what's called a personal brand versus a company brand. So if I am Ernesto and I have a brand called Ernesto, and then I have a brand called CPD Advisors, in my CPD Advisors brand, I'm not showing my acai bowl. I'm not showing, me brushing my teeth or me getting on a plane. I might be showing me speaking at an event as CPD Advisors, but that is not happening really in your business brand. If you have an Instagram, like most people right now, we have these Instagram accounts. They're all personal brands. Like, yes, it is you, but like you have to think of yourself as a brand. And if you want to create, there's nothing wrong with creating content around you brushing your teeth. But if I'm LaTanya and I'm following Gabriel, and like I want to follow Gabriel because he has amazing aromatherapy products, maybe if he's gonna start putting toothbrushing, like it's like the relevance, there's no relevance there.
You have to know your audience. You have
to
spend the time understanding the behaviors of your audience. Your brand is your product is what dictates the demand of the brand. Your product is first. When you start venturing into, now it's different if you're talking about behind the scenes, you all making your candles, you all picking the vegan waxes or testing the burn on the candle, right? That is still considered lifestyle content, because unfortunately, as an entrepreneur, there's very little separation between you and your business on a day-to-day. But when you start trying to do just what's trending, you get into a situation where the trends are dictating your brand and your products, and you're not necessarily going to see an impact in your sales. You may see more people to your page, but are they buying? Are they coming to your page just to see you brush your teeth, or are they buying your product? So it all goes back to that, the very first day where we talked about research, doing your due diligence, looking at your competitor analysis, looking at your buyer personas, understanding the need of your customer. And when we go into on Wednesday, when we talk about the OGSM and the marketing strategy overall, you'll see how that should be the dictating factor. It is perfectly okay to look into trends, but make sure that they're trends that are tailored to your business, your industry, and that your existing clientele is engaging with, because those are the people who buy, the people who have been with you, the people who know Tutu guys. Those are the people that buy. And a better way would be to figure out how you can empower them to be ambassadors for your for your products. They already purchased. Are they sharing? Are they telling people about your product? Are they referring? What are some things you can do to engage them in a new way to create another cycle of revenue from that one customer? Your customers should be living many lives with you, right? You should be celebrating with them. They should know the seasonal, especially for your item, it's seasonal as well. There's opportunities there. You have to go back and take a look at it from a scientific lens. What do I have? The data I have. What is the outcome? What are the variables that do not change, that are constant? And how do I optimize those? Okay, we're going to talk more about that. So I know you all will be in class. We'll talk more about that.
Everyone's excited. I'll take one more question before we move on. Sablee. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm not sure if it is a question or something I wanted to say about the marketing ad. From my experience, maybe I'm still old-fashioned. I put the ad I put postcard. I spend time when I go to supermarket and farmers market and this place and that place, and I give it to people, and it worked a lot. Then when pandemic hit and I go online, I boost, but behind my boost, I was giving the science of the ingredient, the science of the care of the hair. I give that, and I will boost $5, and it's this. Then, I was making sale, and instead of me just stick with that, I want to grow, I want to get big, and I hire expert. Now the expert come in to do the ad, and I'm in trouble with Facebook. How do you change that? How do you balance this whole online thing of hiring people to help you? In my case, I feel like if I hire in-house marketers, if I had the money, it would be much better than hiring people from Timbuktu or China, and then they're doing stuff that you don't want them to do, or they don't even talk like you. So that's just my little take on it.
It's the only thing I would say to that, before maybe deferring to Alexis, I think she's definitely more the marketing expert. If you said your postcard or your boost posts were working, like, why bring in an expert if it was working and it was generating sales? Everyone has to decide for themselves at what point.
I wanted to get big. I wanted to make like everybody else says, oh, you can make $30,000 a month, you can make $40,000 a month. So I'm thinking, if I'm making $3,000, $4,000 by my own little nourish every month online, then maybe if somebody know better than me, or they're trained to know better than me, maybe they will give me more money online. I think the point I'm making, yeah, I just made a lot of mistake on that whole online thing, and I'm glad I'm taking this class and I'm gonna learn from it.
Thanks,
I-
Sably.
Yeah, thank you, Sably. I think like everyone rushes to ads, like paid ads, and there's so many things you can do before getting to that point. So I like that, even in that book that I mentioned, he says paid ads is like the last thing that he does. Like warm outreach, you have a network, you can create content for free, you can even call strangers for free, but you don't have to invest in ads because that is a dark hole that takes years, entire careers to understand. And you again, we the founders focus on what we're experts at, which is our products or our service.
Nobody knows your brand better than you. We will cover strategies, both we will be covering strategies around different budget brackets and for those who don't have a budget on Wednesday. So please, y'all, hang tight. Please, any marketing questions around advertising in terms of paid ad or promotions, leave them in the chat for me. I will make sure we incorporate them in Wednesday's class. Ernesto, go ahead and move forward with the presentation.
Yeah. So, and then here's the last part. Here's the last key cycle, which is everything else that we didn't cover. Admin. It's literally everything else. Everything that's not inventory, everything that's not labor, everything that's not content creation. And we really stay focused and aligned through having a comprehensive weekly review process and a monthly review process. Every week, you got to have a checklist of what you're doing every single week. Reviewing your conversion funnel, reviewing your inventory, ordering inventory, reaching out to customers. There's things that you're doing every single week, no matter what, that like is on autopilot or should be on autopilot. And then there is a different set of things that you're doing on a monthly basis. Maybe you're not reviewing inventory every week. Maybe it's a monthly thing. Every month, you must close your books. You must review your financials. You must review like certain trends in your business. And this is different from everyone else's business. So I'm not going to pretend to prescribe. But what I will say is I want to just very quickly, right now, I'm going to put a 2-minute timer. And I want people to draw out this quadrant onto their paper that's in front of them and just start writing out chicken scratch. What are the key cycles in their business across inventory, labor, advertising, and administration? Is it producing the product? Is it scheduling your employees? Is it creating content? I mean, the answer is it's all of this, but when are you doing it? Which one needs help? And which is the one that you're going to focus on? We're going to keep, everyone will have access to this slide, so don't worry about the information, but right now, for this moment, I just want to make sure everyone is doing a first pass at writing down what are their cycles in these 4 areas of their business. We have 1 minute left. And when we finish the timer, we're not going to pause for questions. We're going to just move on to the last part of our presentation. But if you do have questions, drop them in the chat. It just will not pause. We have 15 seconds left. Okay, so finish up what you were writing, maybe jot down a couple of more one-word notes that you can come back to when we finish today's lecture. Ideally, my dream for you is to finish this slide after today. Within 30 minutes of our presentation, you could lay it all out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Do not obsess over the details. You just need to have a high level understanding. Remember, I think you have 3 minutes for your pitch. So, right, Alexis, 3 minutes?
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Perfect. So you literally think of like an Instagram, not even a reel, like you have 15 seconds to high level describe the key elements. This doesn't have to be perfect. And you will need something to reference after the presentation. So you're actually working on this in your business. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the last part of our presentation. We're bringing it back to my story in hospitality. So as I said, I love hospitality. Everyone loves food. We are all obsessed with food. We all go on Instagram and look at these amazing pictures. We start to salivate. We go onto OpenTable or Resy or whatever reservation platform. We make that reservation. We show up to the restaurant. The chef brings out this amazing first bite. Then you order a whole meal. And then when you go home, you get this gift. This is a picture of the #1 restaurant in the world from a few years ago. They used to send you home with some granola. And this really solidified the magic. And if there's anything we learned from the hospitality industry is that the customer journey that you create for all of your clients, it's this amazing, delicious, Michelin-starred experience that you can create for everyone. Whether you're selling candles, aromatherapy, massages, cookies, challah, consulting services, data, you can create this amazing experience for everyone. And when I teach customer experience to clients, I think of it as 3 phases, and I call it the S3 journey. So in the S3 journey, we have seek, we have serve, and we have support. And these are the 3 key areas that your customer is experiencing when they're engaging with your business. A fancier way to map this all out into a fancy process diagram. If you want this, I can send this to you. Just you'll tell me at the end so that you can map out this journey so you could see in your business what this looks like. For now, we're going to break into each of these 3 parts. So when we seek new customers, we are talking about marketing and sales. Earlier today, I think Daniel and Gabriel were saying with their website, they had an intro offer when they collected an email and a name, they give them a % discount. So these are 3 questions I have for you to consider for your business when it comes to the customer experience around marketing. What is that intro offer? What is that first thing you want to buy from them or that you can give them? What platforms will you create content on? Will they be on? And what type of content will you create? This is very similar to the discussion we just had on advertising, and we're not about to open up a whole discussion about advertising, but I want you to recognize from the customer's perspective, this is the first thing that they're going to see. They're going to see you on a platform, they're going to see an introductory offer, and then they're going to take action. And marketing and sales, like what is the bottom line implication? Marketing and sales creates new revenue, creates new customers. So it is essential to have marketing and sales in your business. No, not paid, not always paid marketing, but marketing. You always have to market. Second part is fulfillment. So after the customer orders, you got to send them the product. You have to fulfill on the promise that you made. So after you go to the restaurant and you make an order with the waiter, the kitchen now has to fulfill that order. So how are you going to fulfill it? Are you physically going to go to your warehouse and put it into an envelope and send it? Do you have a third-party logistics team that's going to do it? Is Amazon going to do it? Who is going to fulfill your orders? And while that's happening, how are you going to communicate with your customers? How are you going to keep them aware of what's happening? If right now, if you do have a fulfillment process, please write in the chat how you do it. If you do not, I will explain why it's important. When your customer has an amazing experience with you and they're just blown away, they're going to tell 15 of their friends about this amazing cookie that you had, or this amazing massage or aromatherapy or shirt. They're just going to be so blown away. And this is, earlier someone was saying about paid like this is the biggest, most powerful marketing tool that you have, referrals and word of mouth. So it's very important to think through your fulfillment, how you do it. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I do it myself. And something to consider is you doing your own fulfillment is keeping you from actually doing something that will grow the business. You doing operations is keeping you from growth. And it's a paradox that you navigate. So I'm seeing a lot of myself. I see some notifications coming from Shopify account. The Shopify account is very key. Yes, Paula.
Hi, Ernesto. Your information is really, really helpful. Thank you for everything. I want to know how much should I spend in a third-party company to fulfill my products? Because I think I'm not going to make enough money to pay somebody else to put my products in the box and ship it to my customers, since I don't have a lot of demanding offerings right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. And I think everyone probably has the same issue. And here I am saying hire employees. You have to, the first thing is fill your capacity. Like you yourself have to do all the advertising, the content creation to fill up your store or your products. And until that happens, you cannot do the 3PL. So I don't know if I have a number for you in terms of like the cost of how much to spend, but Amazon, for example, will take 30% of whatever sale that you make. So that could be a mental benchmark that you can think through. Because it's fine to have your product on Amazon, just know they're taking 30% of the top of the line. So maybe it's a question of you might have to increase your pricing, but again, this is not a pricing class. This is just the importance of having really good fulfillment.
Okay.
I don't know if I answered your question exactly.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, in the workshop that we had before, I met some people that they offer me this service. To be honest, I didn't know there were some companies that do that. So I get very excited. And then I realized, okay, I'm not going to be able to have enough money to pay for somebody to fill the product. And then my product is very sensitive. My product is fragile. So how they going to keep in storage? And they say, well, if you have to be refrigerated, then you have to pay more for refrigerator storage. So it keeps adding and adding, and how much my product is going to be.
Yeah, it gets tricky. I mean, you can't always be depending on the product, you can't always outsource it. But yeah, it's something you'd have to think through.
Thank you.
Yes, Barbara. We don't have too much time, so.
Yes, I'm thinking with Amazon, first of all, 30%, it's like a whole lot for me, but also I cannot give them my inventory and then not have the inventory here in store for when the food customers come in.
Well, you can have a blend. You can have, I mean, I have my book. I have my book here, and Amazon has my book. So you can take some inventory on hand and have the rest for Amazon. But that's a decision you have to make.
It's tricky.
It's tricky. It's never simple. So the last phase of the journey is support. Is your customer has made a purchase from you, and you are going to support them in, you know, Alexis said earlier, we want to be with our customers for life. We want to have many celebrations. So sometimes, depending on the product, your customer might reorder from you, or you know, maybe it's a subscription, maybe it's on a monthly basis, maybe you send them an email. But first define, like, why would your customer reorder from you? Like, why is your product going to continue supporting that customer? And how will they know? Are you going to send them an email? Is it going to be a manual email or automated email? You know, the impact of having really solid support processes in place is that you can increase the lifetime value of your customer. It's not just about the $30 initial aromatherapy. It's around the $30 times 4 times a year times 3 years. We just have to continue to remind that person to make that purchase. That's why you see Amazon Subscribe and Save such an important part with a subscription business. Any last questions on this part? No. Okay, wonderful. So what is next? If you have a moment, scan the QR code. I will bring the QR code up at the end again. This is going to take you to a feedback form where you can, like, connect with me, ask your questions. I think the organization will send you a copy of the deck. But yeah, if you have any questions for me in general, feel free to send them there. In summary, project management is about creating valuable products for your market. Your playbooks are those recurring cycles in your business, and it's super key to define those playbooks. And the last part, maintaining your customer relationships will impact your bottom line like you did not realize possible. So next, for you, review the concepts and any questions you had for today. Do your slide, maybe make it today, and take a deep breath, because it's all going to be amazing, and there's way too many other things to stress about. Thank you. And there is the QR code and my email if you have any questions. And Stacy, you have a question.
Yes, hi, good day. I've been on the road, I've been on the highway, so I wasn't able to ask my question earlier, but you've been giving great content. Thank you so much, Ernesto. And I wanted to ask a question regarding the inventory. Right now, I have 2 sources that I track my inventory. I use the point of sale system with Square. And so I track inventory that I do pop-up shops with on that platform. And then for my online store, I track the inventory via Shopify. Do you have any recommendations of how I can combine that so that it's tracked just on one platform? And that goes for the emails and, you know, the SMS and everything too.
Yeah, so both, so your Shopify and your pop-up shops, those are 2 points of sale. And when you say tracking, the word tracking inventory can be a big word, and I don't want to go too deep into a rabbit hole. In theory, you have a warehouse that is producing the inventory, and that is where you're tracking the inventory. When after the warehouse has orders from your Shopify point of sale and your pop-up point of sale, you kind of disperse those. But all of your inventory should be tracked in some sort of a production system. I can't list one off the top of my head, but that's where you would really track the main inventory and then like make the sale through Shopify or through your point of sale.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Alexis, I guess I'll turn it back to you. Or if anyone else has questions or.
Yeah, there's still some time left if you all have any additional questions or feedback for Ernesto. As always, you know, I'm going to encourage you to take the time if you have any other questions or feedback for him before we wrap.
Or Alina.
Yes. I want to say two things. One about the advertising. Something that I learned from the first workshop that I went with Alexis, it was about Google. In somewhere you might remind Alexi, you say also to use like Pinterest and to use Google reviews, because when you use just social media, Instagram, I do it, of course, or advertising Amazon, it keeps in that niche, but when you use Google, it goes further. I don't know if I explain myself.
You did great. You did great, Carolina.
You did great.
Absolutely right. Utilizing Google because it's a hub. It's not just for marketing analytics. It's also for your web analytics if you have a website. It's also a good place to generate customer synergy by having people get reviews if they search for different things in the area. As you develop like your Google My Business page and utilize the suite more, there's more visibility for you on the largest search engine in the world. It's free to do. And if anybody does want any information on setting up their Google My Business page or what Google Suite offers for small business owners like yourself, I'll be more than happy to email you all that information as well.
And the second thing is about Amazon. In my experience, in my first beginnings with Amazon, I was so scared because I'm from another country selling something that, not each one wants in their homes, like Cuatro Venezolano. And Amazon, I know they take 32, 30, depends on where I sell it, of sales, but they give me customers, that's how I say, under the stones. They look for the customer for me. I mean, if you know how to learn to do it, it's going to be a good partner, but you have to be aware, of course.
Yes, you have to be aware of. Everyone gets stuck in the good or bad paradox. And is advertising good? Is advertising bad? Is this platform good or bad? You just have to recognize how to use it. And when you use it in alignment with how you want it to be used, then it's great. But most people just kind of like do it, as Alexa said, they let the trends drive the action. They let the trend drive your content strategy. They let the trend drive who you're hiring as a consultant, when in reality, your needs or your awareness should drive the action. And maybe that's
yes, and maybe I sound so confident, like, oh, I know everything. No, all the time I'm learning. And today I learned a lot. Ernesto, thank you. I mean, because we need to, like, a step by step, always look the things like that. But it's a lot of things that we have to be aware. So let's write it down all the time. I have this here. Mondays usually is in blank because I put what are going to be my points. And it's hard for me because, as I say, I'm learning another language, another way to be. But, well, we have FIU startup, we have Navigator, we have the tools. So we're not alone. Thank you.
You and everyone else in this room have so many more tools than you realize. We're just letting all the stuff get in the way of realizing it.
Yes, I agree. And it's going to look different for every business. Your operations will change. They will change as your demand grows, as you go into your peak seasons, as you find you have influx of inventory, as the supply chain changes, as it becomes more difficult or easier to get the materials to produce your products, your operation will change. It's about setting yourself up with the knowledge to be able to effectively navigate those changes and project it onto your business. So do not be afraid of the changes. There will be peaks and valleys. There will be ebb and flow in your business, and likewise in your operation in every part of that. That includes marketing as well. If you focus out on your bigger picture, understanding the key objectives of your business, understanding your finances, understanding who your target audiences are and the buyer personas for those audiences, the behaviors of them, you're more prepared to face those changes. Not to say that it won't be challenging. I would never tell you that, but you're more prepared to face those changes when they come. That is what we set you up to do, to be prepared to make decisions as entrepreneurs and business owners, to make informed decisions about the best way to pivot or shift the strategy in your business. And y'all are going to do great. You all are going to do great.